Bro, can you tune both lights down by, let's say, 50%? Nice. Hey. All right, guys. Let's get started. So, I thought we'd do a slightly different stream than usual. I'll try to walk you through how I would approach a US Open trading any instrument really, but tonight, of course, I'm gonna trade my favorite instrument, Bitcoin. So I'm connected here with a live account on Binance, and we do have a little bit of new music tonight. It's a little bit challenging, so if you want a different track, let me know in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, whatever. Let's go. Okay, so here we are. We just checked into our trading desk, and we want to trade tonight. So right now we have 30 minutes from US Open, which usually brings volume in whatever direction. So let's start with a top-down analysis on Bitcoin. It's pretty simple, guys. I mean, looking at this, I mean, we looked at this in the past weeks as well. And what we're really looking at here, you know, is this thing gonna break further down here? Is it gonna break down or is it gonna hold? Do we know the answer to that? No, we don't. And we're not gonna pretend that we know the answer to that. So that's very important. So what we're gonna do, because there's no clear direction of what's gonna happen here, it's probably just gonna fuck around. I don't think we're looking at like an immediate breakdown right now. So in my consideration, looking at right here on the weekly time frame, is really the wick coming in. And you can see the bias being present, by, you know, we have the signals that the bias is present. And that's all we need for now. Of course, this can change. There's 4 days left of the weekly candle. We don't know how this is going to close. Anyway, but for today, we can say that this is not the day that Bitcoin dies. All right, let's move to 1 day time frame. All right, moving to 1 day time frame. I mean, it's not really any different, right? So we had this coming into Monday Open. We nuked down and we took this very nice. Let's see here, that very nice liquidity zone, as so many guru traders would say. In reality, there was a breakdown and someone was looking to get filled. So what it shows us is that we still have bias in Bitcoin at these levels. They are still present. Okay, so this is not, it's not gone yet. Now, if we consider this like the maximum low, and we then consider up here like 25k, basically the top of our range, we can basically just consider that we're moving here in a range right now. All right, so we're gonna do some trend lines to see that what everyone else is thinking, which means that we have some hard resistance, 21,700 is something like this, depends at what time it gets there, right? So that's the trend line traders. And that's probably it, right? So we're looking at some sort of triangle. Why is triangles great to play? Why is they great to trade? Because you got a ton of fucking idiots that's directional gambling, that is gonna go up or down directional, right? That's great for us. That's fucking great. We love this sideways shit because it means we can just sit at the top of buttons of the range and just trade it when it get there and make easy money. So it's good. So we like what we're seeing on the 1 day time frame, really, right? We see that there's some room here for a move, for definitely room for a move, right? Especially here, but it's probably not just gonna come out of nowhere. Now, if there's some news, some impacts, it could come, right? And we will learn as we move into the lower time frames. We are much better going to understand what is the current situation, okay? But right now in the daily time frame, what we can see is pretty much the same we saw in the weekly. We have buyers present here for now. We have some resistance at 20K, and otherwise we have some resistance up here and whatever. All right, let's move to 4 hour. All right. Moving to 4 hour, we can see that X mode really does its job well here. All right, mapping out like 17.5, this down here would, I mean, even though we're in a downtrend, it would probably be a good buy for a scalp or short trade, just a few percent, 5%, maybe 3, at best 1, I mean at worst 1. Okay, anyway, 4 hour time frame, what am I seeing? I'm just seeing bullshit, to be honest. I mean, this just looks like, I don't know. What is the trend? I mean, that's not even, you can't even make a fucking trend line here. Like, maybe, nah, forget it. All right, so let's move a little bit closer to the structure. And then we're gonna start to consider some order flow as well and see how this really connects here. So we're looking at 20K. 20K is obviously an obvious point. I think there's a good chance. Looking at this 4 hour here, just looking at how choppy this is, we have it, it has established its own range within here. But it's messy. It's very messy. It's very, very messy. Not clean at all. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. So tonight we're doing, if you're just checking in now, we're doing a live trading session on Bitcoin into the US Open. And right now I'm just going through my analysis of what I'm actually seeing here and how I'm gonna bring that into an actual trading plan. So let's continue. So 4 hour here, we have some resistance coming up here. That's gonna be more obvious on 1 hour. And we also have a good chance that it could just retest 18,750. Just something like this. Very doable. And if it's not that direction, then it could be something like this. Because then we're starting to see, okay, well, what is the lower time frame traders looking at? So let's go to 1 hour. All right. So lower time frame traders, low time frame traders, something like that. I don't know what the just messy, like it's just, there's no real, and that's why it's a good market to scalp, like either down here or up here. It's good because you have so much indecision of which direction it's gonna move to. So if you get into a scalp, you have a very good chance to make a lot of money in a short amount of time on these moves, and that's what we want. That's how I prefer to make money in trading. It's just to do simple trades in an environment where it just makes sense. And what does it mean? It means you have a low liquidity environment where you have a lot of spread, really, because the liquidity providers are just not going to give you that much liquidity anymore in the market. And because of that, when you suddenly have quick moves in the market, it moves more than usual as the liquidity goes away. And that's where, if you trade the right levels and you're just prepared for this and you're just waiting for this, it's just like fishing. Okay, you're just putting out your bait and then you just wait. You're just sitting around and just waiting until the fish bite. Okay, and that's really the most important thing. The most important thing is just waiting for the right thing to show up. And that's probably the hardest thing about a live trading session, is that you gotta find something that's actually worth trading. You gotta find an opportunity that's actually worth investing capital in, and you might not always find them on a single market in 1 hour. Right? So you might be using multiple markets to find these opportunities, and we'll see if we can find anything. But let's have a look. 1 hour time frame. Again, resistance 19. 19,375. So depending on how we move into the US Open in 22 minutes, that could be a good potential sell up here. It depends. It really depends where it's trading at the moment. If it's already trading above here by the time we come into US Open, there's a good chance it could just test up here, then fall over. I would much prefer to sell up here than selling down here. This is a much better opportunity up here than down here. Okay. Okay, 1 hour. So let's move a little bit closer. So what are we seeing? Okay, well, we have some sort of temporary movement here, right? And it's just coming back to the top of where it was before, right? So we have this kind of thing, seller happening here. So we're going to confirm this in a minute with order flow and have a look at what actually happened here, right? Because we have this cooking, you had this sell here, and now you have this buy going on, right? So let's have a look. Let's go have a look at order flow. Let's have a look at the 1 hour first. Let's see what we see. All right. Same temporary movement up, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. It's a lot of volume exchanged down here. It's a lot of volume exchanged here. Like right here. Right there. You can see that here. A lot of volume exchanged. Right? So if you are a big buyer, if you're a big boy and you had just bought a ton down here, you would really want to move that inventory. It didn't, like, it barely touched 18, 17, 50. That means strength, right? Like all this consolidation here, that shows that's strength. That's what it's telling us. It's telling us that the reason that's not, it did touch the level. It had a strong bounce back, and then you just had, look at that. Like, look at that precision right there on these candles, right? Look at that. Like, this is the stuff you want to pay attention to. Look at that. Okay? It's like poker, guys. It's like you gotta collect, you know, the right cards to get a flush or whatever. Look at this. That's really something you want to keep in mind, okay? At any given time when we're working with the markets, I want you to understand, we don't know what the fuck is going on, okay? We have no fucking clue what's going on in the market. All we can do is that we can look at the bits and pieces of information that the market is giving us, and then we can apply that to the context of the market, okay? The context. Where is it trading at? What is the macro environment doing? How is the other markets moving around? And from that, we build a thesis and then we trade that. Okay, that's how it works. And that's why buying signals doesn't work. That's why when people try to buy these trading signals, so it doesn't work because they don't have the confidence in the trade, because they didn't build their own thesis and argument for why this is a good trade. Of course, this takes time to learn, but if you're just buying signals, then you're not getting anywhere. You're not learning anything, okay? And we want to learn. Anyway, strong demand down here. So now we want to, we want to really put that in perspective to what's been traded here. So let's have a look. $400 million in volume, 600, 500, 600, and then here we are at 100 million, okay? So we're 10 minutes in. We traded 120 million in this 1 hour candle so far. So that's roughly the same volume that's been trading here the entire time, like roughly, okay? So that hints that we got some sort of buying going on, okay? We have some sort of demand, whether it's a T-Warp algorithm buying or institutional client or some fucking retail idiot, doesn't matter. We have a demand, okay? And that's very insightful, because we also had a huge demand down here, and now we have this demand. So that's pretty interesting. You want to keep that in mind. That gives me confidence that I would actually be willing to, I might even be willing to take a trade here on 19K, 19,062. It could look something like this, If we have a US Open that opens like this, Bitcoin moving down like this, I could be interested in taking it here and that would be my trade. Now, Another option would be that we have a US open, it's really grim, and it just goes straight through that level. It goes straight down here. Whoever was buying here will be a complete fool and look like an idiot, and will be just taken out, okay? So that's another option. So how do we know? How do we know whether we want to be buying here or not? Well, that's what we're gonna find out in the lower time frames. Okay, that's what we're gonna learn. How are we gonna learn it? We're gonna learn it by reading the price action and the volume signature and the exchange volume. Okay. So look, right now we have a pretty nasty gap around here in volume. If you look at it, you can see in the previous 1 hour candle, the majority of the volume was exchanged up here at 19,250. Before that, we had a major exchange of volume down here at 19K as well. Just a little bit above the export level here. But overall, this here is just a void, okay? So from 19,200 until 19,120, that's a void. We actually don't really want to be buying that. So that means we're gonna mark it out, okay? That means from here to, what was it? 19,200, okay? Based on here, there's basically no volume exchanged here. That means no market makers is looking to, that might have sold, but they haven't, because no one sold really in this zone. As you can see, there really wasn't much volume transacted at all. That means that it's unlikely for there to be a lot of market makers that will be looking to buy back their inventory at these levels. For that reason, there's a good chance it falls through that level. And then the question is if this is going to hold up. So we're not going to be buying here at all, because when we move into 15-minute time frame or 5-minute time frame or 1-minute time frame, this is going to be showing up as a support zone as well on these time frames. Okay? But it's really important for us to know not when to engage with them, when not to engage. This helps us build the thesis. Okay, this helps us build our confidence in the trade and knowing that there's nothing here. There's something here, but really, down here would be great. Yeah, down here would be really great. So we might be looking at a short from here. Might be looking at a short position. Let's see how much time. 15 minutes until US Open, guys. So we might be looking at something like this. Now I'm not sure about that stop loss, so we'll come back to this trade and have a look. Anyway, so that's what we have learned on 1 hour so far. And yeah, you can almost see it as well. Like you don't even need order flow. Most of the time, you'll just be able to read the price action itself, the market. You'll be able to tell that there's a legit gap here in volume exchanged. All right, let's go to 15 minute. All right, so as we come into 15 minutes, it's looking even stronger. This current. So now we need to start to have some sort of context, like, well, how strong is this relative to the rest of the market? So we go look at SPX. And you can see that we got basically the same move. All right. So it's just Bitcoin mirroring SPX. Now, if I'm not wrong, there's some news coming out today. There's usually some news every day and whatever. And that's worth keeping in mind, that if you wonder, like, how is it going to get to a certain point where you want to take the trade? Like, all you have to do is wait. All you have to do is just wait for the right move and trade it. For me, it looks like SPX could retest up here, okay? So that would be a pretty significant move. SPX could test 3,900. Now, if SPX trades 3,906, that's quite a significant move. That's going to be higher. That's going to be higher than just 1,937. But we don't actually know yet, because US is not open until 15 minutes from now. So I don't think Bitcoin's I don't think it gets all the way to 20K on that. If If the SPX were to make a big move on the US Open and it would go to 3,906, I don't think that really puts Bitcoin at 20k. I don't think it does. I think maybe it puts it at 19,600 something in this region. Yeah. All right. So we got. Thanks for letting me know, PK. So we got a FOMC meeting coming up. And and we've seen these meetings in the past. Could be pretty grim. So whatever you're doing going into these new events, the only thing you don't want to be doing is that you don't want to be market buying the direction that the market is going when this news comes out. So if the news comes out and the market starts moving up, the last thing you should do ever is like market buy long. Okay, and the same if news comes out and SPX starts to go down, the last thing you should do is like market sell it. Like it's such a bad idea, because most of the times what really happens during these meetings is that the liquidity providers, the market makers that usually provide liquidity to the markets, they really just pull back their liquidity for some time just to find out like, okay, what's really happening, because they don't want to take on inventory. They don't want to take on inventory in a unless the price is really good in an like really uncertain situation. Markets hate uncertainty. They hate it. All right, back to BTC. Let's go to 5 minutes. All right, so now let's bring up order flow 5 minutes as well. 150 million, 60 million, 50 million, 86 million, 72 million, 21, 45, 49, 55, 49. Roughly the same volume. All right, so it tells me that this buyer is not done. This guy is not done buying. You can also see that on the price action here. Like look at that. I don't think this guy's done. Maybe he will be done up here. All right, so in anticipation of a FOMC meeting and volatility and so on, let's just lay it out and look at the situation as it is, okay? I would be very comfortable selling BTC between 20k and 20,300. I'd be super comfortable with that. That would be a great fucking trade. Like I just don't think it gets there. I just don't think it gets there. But that is like what I can say, like right here and right now. I'd be happy to just put bits at that area and go to bed. All right, so we're looking at 30 seconds now. Let's have a look at this. Let's keep an eye on this. Maybe the guy is done. I'm just wrong. Let's see. All right. So 15-minute extension. We don't have it here. I think that's a good chance it takes out this area, to be honest. I think that's a good chance. Maybe I'm just not seeing the, maybe I'm just not seeing to sell here, whatever. The point is, guys, if the trade doesn't come to us, we don't chase it. Okay, just because I want to short it up potentially here or up down here or whatever, like just because it starts turning around now, it doesn't mean like I just go market shorting this because, you know, I want to get in this trade and I don't want to miss it or whatever. Like that's stupid. That's just the way you get wrecked. Okay, the best thing we can do is that we can observe the market and we can say, if the market does this, then I will do this. All right, we can build if-then statements, just like robots. That makes us able to build scenarios around what the market could potentially do and so on. Okay, let's see. How long do we have? 7 minutes for US Open. And guys, put in the chat how many minutes for the FOMC meeting. Is it the same time as US Open? I don't think it is. It might be. All right, these guys selling. They are selling. Let's see if someone wants to buy as well. Okay, looks like okay, well, thanks for the information, PK. If FOMC is 2.5 hours away, I'm happy to short Bitcoin into the US Open. Like right now, I would be happy to short it up here because we just had this pullback here. Maybe it's too close. Like maybe we gotta get up here, like I said before, 19,600. So how do we approach that situation? How do we approach the situation if we would like to short this area in general? Well, it's very simple, guys. We scale in our position, okay? So we start shorting here and then we just scale our position until we're satisfied with it. Ideally, you know, you would have a stop loss up here beyond 20k. 20,300, but it's just the position will be too big. Like not the position itself, but the risk reward will be totally skewed, and what makes sense. All right, this guy doesn't look like he's finished. All right, so now we have 1 minute, and we have kind of worked our way all the way down from the weekly time frame, all the way down to the 1 minute time frame. So we have a good understanding of the market right now and how it's moving and what it's been through, and we can kind of just watch it on the lowest time frame possible. Now, the reason we want to watch it on the lowest time frame possible is because on the lowest time frame possible, that's where it's like the newest information of the market coming through. Okay, the 1 minute time frame will paint the 5 minute time frame, and the 5 minute time frame will paint the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute will paint 1 hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, 1 day weekly. Okay, so when we're sitting at 1 minute time frame, we're able to look at information with the knowledge we have of the market and what it could potentially do, and we can watch it in real time as it happens. Okay, and that will give us the best edge in the market to react based on the scenarios that we looked at tonight. So what we had talked about tonight was buying a potential dip at 19,062, and to remember that we have this huge gap right below this neutral level here, that we have a big gap. It's funny because XMO actually marks it out as well. So I think it does a great job. All right, let's look at this. So this looks pretty strong, right? It's probably going to spike up here. Now the question is if that's the final spike. And what is SPX doing at the same time? We want to know that as well. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Okay. All right, So why use trend lines when we have algorithms on? I like to use trend lines because that's how I got started trading. And it took me a very long time to master setting trends like the right way, as you can say. That's a good trend line. My mentor would be proud. Alright. So look at that. A lot of times, what a trend line really represents is momentum in the market. Okay? The current momentum of whatever algorithm is buying, or whatever institution is buying, or whoever is buying or selling. It really represents very well. And the funny thing about these TWAP algorithms and whatever buying patterns you see like this, the funny thing about them is that they often work in price bands. Okay, so they have like a maximum amount of there's like a maximum acceptable range that they allow to buy and sell in. And often what you can do is you can take a trend line like this, you can mirror it, and you can put it on the other side like I've done here, and it will act like what can you say, like a resistance of in the same momentum. So just the opposite of the support, basically. That's pretty interesting because you can see where it maps right now 1 minute time frame. So I would actually be interested in selling here right now. I would not mind. So why don't we play some orders just for fun? Hang on. All right, there we go. All right, so it's just a little bit, just for fun, just like this. Be happy with that. And the trade I'm looking for here is really the market to move like this and then down here. And I'm just looking to take profit down. It's a very quick trade, okay? Now I might be completely wrong. If we start to see the market consolidating here and move very quick above here, I'll have to cut my loss very quick. So let's see. Because if we lose control of it here, it goes straight through this neutral level and it will just go straight to 19,600. You know what? Let's put a box there. All right, it'll go straight here. And I will be happy to try to take another shot here. All right, here we go. Here we go, guys. Let's see if we can be successful with this. So just because of how fast we might have to get out of this trade, I'm just going to put a buy order down here already now. It'll be very quick to remove this order because this order is exactly below that empty box. If it reverses straight down here from now, that would be a kill and it would go straight into this level. And that is exactly why this would be like a big empty void that we marked out before. So let's see. Let's see. US opened 1 minute ago. Look at that. That's a... Jesus Christ. That's a lot of selling. I'm not sure it has it. Let's see. Like I said, I don't want to be buying here. I really don't want to be buying down here. Unless it's like it fills in the next 1 or 2 seconds, 5 seconds, something like this. I don't really want to be buying down here. Really not interested in getting long down here. I killed the buy order down here. But I think it could be interesting to take a trade here. I think it could be interesting to take a trade down here. So I'm going to put it here. 0.3 BTC. So that's a lot of buying we got here now. There's a lot of selling here. Now we got a ton of buying here. You can see that it's now, this 1 minute candle just opened below this level. It's not a good sign for the market overall. There we go. Auction. So 30 million, $70 million into US Open, and then it got sold off with $15 million, $11 million, $8 million, $14 million, candle $10 million. It's not the best sign. It's really not the best sign. If you're long. And SPX, I don't know what SPX is doing. What is this shit? Look at this fucking price action. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? I guess it's just I think it's just gonna range SPX. I think that's just it. It's just gonna range here. It might test down here and whatever, but it's just gonna chill in this box. And if it moves out this box, there's a good chance it takes it. And if it takes 13,906, then there's a good chance it moves up to uptrend. All right, Sebastian likes the music. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's not bad. We had some problems with YouTube copyright claims in the past, and now we have officially partnered with a music provider to avoid copyright claims. So yay, it's great. It's really great. Okay, so what are we doing? Look at this. This is not. I don't know what this. I don't know what this is. So we had to sell $14 million, $10 million, $5 million, 5, 6, 5. This is gonna be another 5 or what? So this guy did not have a good time. I mean, let's see. We'll see. That's probably too early to tell. Too early to tell. Yeah, I mean, it's just nothing, right? And that's just it. Then we just wait. SPX maybe could be interesting for like a quick buy down here. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, this is strength. If it can do this and recover and take out this level up here, yeah, then it probably goes 3,906 because it already consolidated this level. So yeah, that is, and if SPX will go up, it will pull Bitcoin up as well. So let's see. So remember, we have that void just below here. We have a void. All right. So let's see if that actually comes something. You can see some sell over here on SPX. Like guys, whatever asset you're trading, just always compare it to SPX. All right. Like let SPX be like your index of the overall macro market and how it's doing. I'm not saying it's perfect, whatever, but it's simple and it's easy and it works. So if you're shorting something and you're buying some, go have a look at what SPX is doing. If SPX is moving the same way as the market that you're looking to trade, if they're moving the same way, there's a good chance they're correlated to some degree. And that will give you some real intelligence to work with, because now you have context, right? So if you have a market that you can compare to SPX, now you have context of the strength of this market or the weakness of this market. So if it's dumping more than SPX, all right, now you have some context that this is dumping more than the macro market. It's weaker than that. If it's going up more than SPX, then it's stronger. Okay, this is simple stuff, and it's not always perfect, but it will give you a really good idea of just what your market in general is doing. Of course, you can do this in 1 minute time frame, but it's much more important to look at the higher time frames, like 1 day time frame, etc., when you're really doing these correlations and looking at how the assets, when they're correlated, when they're not correlated. Okay, that's another quick tip, guys. I'm almost falling asleep here with this sound. Let's see. They say this is trending sounds. All right, we got some move. So, like if SPX takes out this area up here, I'm not sure I want to short Bitcoin here anymore, because now we just consolidated down here, and if it makes it move up, it's a good chance that whoever provided liquidity down here might be enough to actually move it out of this resistance. But let's see. So this is 5 minute. Okay. All right. Is there gonna be a Black Friday deal? Yeah, I think that we're gonna have a pretty sweet Black Friday deal, guys, for November. So the funny thing is that the job when you're sitting and you're watching order flow is figuring out what is the different programs doing, what is the algorithms doing, who's buying, who's selling, how much they're buying, how much are they selling, how much do they have left to buy, how much do they have left to sell. This is what everyone is like trying to figure out. Okay, and they're trying to use all the data points in the market to really get an idea about this. And that's the same as our job. Our job is to anticipate and see how different players are interacting with market makers, liquidity providers, and so on. How are they buying? How are they selling? Where they're buying? Where they're selling? And that will give you, again, context of what is going on in the market and how you should act in it. Yeah, so it's probably coming up to test here, right? We're probably gonna have a test up here. So the question is, do we wanna buy this? I mean, do we wanna sell this up here now? Right, so what do we have? Do we have some sort of wedge thing cooking here? You know? The problem here is that it really looks like SPX has some room to go, but it's also boxed in this little box we looked at before. So we really gotta look careful here and just read the price action, read the market. You know, like the market is always, it's like a, you know, it's like that clip. The guy says like it's like a comet. It's like a comet. You know, you can't see the comet. You can only see the tail of the comet. You can see the tail of the comet, and all you can do is that you can just look at that tail and see the past of where it was and try to anticipate where it's going. Okay, it's the same thing we're doing here with the markets. We're just seeing the tail. We're seeing the tail. Okay, we're not seeing. We're a little bit behind. We're a little bit behind, and at any given time, a little bit behind. So we gotta be really gotta watch. Let's move this back down here. All right, let's have a look at these past. They call this electronic dance music. I mean, the past tracks, I don't get it because it sounded like, you know, sleeping music to me. Not that it was so bad. All right, let's see. It's just, okay, so what's going on? Right now, we are consolidating in a range here, right? That's pretty much what's happening, okay? Consolidating in a range, that means basically the market is like undecided what's to happen, okay? So what's gonna happen next is that we're gonna have an auction in one direction, okay? Either the auction is gonna be outside the box going down to here, or the auction is gonna be up of the box going into here. And then once we see this auction coming out of the box, we will see the volume coming in. And if the volume is strong enough to confirm the move out, meaning that there's more interest and demand outside of this price box that it was in right now, it will move out this price box. It will take off this level, and it will move probably into 19,600. So the only trade that is here right now is that we are looking at an auction where we think it's going to have a failed auction as it moves into the resistance area. Okay, and given that there's still a long time for FOMC, there's like what, 2 hours still something, I think it's still reasonable to keep the ask up here and expect a quick move out that will have to be retested down here. So for that reason, I'm leaving my ask for now. Now, if we were closer to FOMC, this would be too tight a range for the volatility that it usually brings, right? Like instead of looking at this, I would be looking at something much greater, like 19,600 up here, or something down here, right? Not this. This is a tiny move. This is a tiny scalp. All right, fair enough. Dance music, electronic dance music. They got it. Not bad. It's like we're in a club, guys. All right, so look at this guy. 20 million. He just sold 20 million, this guy. And he got really bad fills. Really bad. Look at that. So he wanted to sell a lot at once. It was like, okay, we gotta watch it. We gotta watch because it looks like the market's about to move. Let's get ready for this. this it? I think someone is gonna panic soon. Let's have a look. We're just looking for a quick fill in and out. We don't want any. We're not looking for anything long term here. We're just looking for one good night. We're not looking for marriage here. We don't want to be married to the short position here because I think the real shorts are up here or up here. And there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than, you know, and doing all this work, analyzing the market, knowing where the knowing where the real sell is, and then wasting your money on taking a trade that's closer because you're bored or you don't think it's gonna get there, right? The only, like I said, the only reason I'm willing to hold this here right now is because I think that somebody's gonna panic soon from this consolidation here, and it's gonna make a quick move in here and then back. But if this is gonna grind, okay, if this shit is gonna grind up like this slowly, I have no interest in it. Okay, what I want, and I don't, you know, always get what I want, but what I want is just a quick move, boom, like that. And not even that long. I want it to literally be straight up and straight down, going backwards even. And that's the trade I'm looking for here. And I don't want it to grind into it. Why don't I want it to grind into it? Because it's showing much more strength than you really want to see. We're just looking, it really shows price acceptance outside of this consolidation box that we're seeing here right now. But yeah, someone is buying a lot over here. Someone is really picking up. Like, I want you to pay attention to this. Okay, so the red doesn't actually mean that someone is selling. What it means is that someone is placing a limit order and then someone is selling into them. Okay, so you can kind of consider this almost like the buys, and on the other side would be actually sells, even though it's the opposite color. I know it's a little bit strange, but that's how it works. You can see someone here put a single order for $5.1 million, and it was picked up in a single buy order. So someone is really hungry here, and it actually makes me think that a dip down here would be almost be worth buying right now. Maybe even here you could change. You could $20 something. So yeah, there's definitely some strength right now, and like I said, I don't want it to grind into my orders. I don't want it just. I don't want this slow move upwards. It's not what I want. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions. All right. So while we wait for something to happen here, let's go have a look at gold euro, gold rock euro. Let's have a look at the trend first of all. Okay. Okay. Gold euro. Let's have a look. 1 day time frame. What the fuck is this shit? What? I don't know why it's in such a hard downtrend, to be honest. I mean, when I overall looking at this market, it generally seems like it's been in a bull market since 2018. So actually this market looks pretty strong to me overall. On the lower time frames, of course. I think there's a good chance it could do something like this. I think there's a very good chance it would do something like that. I think there's a very reasonable chance it would do something like that. So actually, I mean, it might work out fine. It might work out fine. Personally, I don't like this. I really don't like whenever, I mean, guys, whenever you have a market that's consolidating above resistance, okay, and pushing into extension 1 more than 2 times like this, that means strength. It means get the fuck out. Yeah, I would get the fuck out, Antonio. I'm not like I don't fuck around with my trades. As soon as they start to consolidate, above resistance like this, like I'm not interested anymore. It's just outside of like how I work with the market. Like I don't want to have anything to do with it. Okay, something is happening and we lost the order flow, so something is moving. Okay, so order flow is down, but navigator is up. See? Great tech. Great tech, guys. So yeah, I would get out of this, even though I can see, like, it's just, I'm not interested. Whenever it starts to fuck around with extension 1 zone, it just means that the demand is too strong. Okay. Okay, looks like the feed here is back. So what am I looking at here? Well, I'm looking at how volume is being distributed. I'm looking at how like people are buying and selling. And the reason I'm watching in 30 seconds is to get the latest information, right? But if we want to have a better overview, we zoom a little bit out, like 15 minutes. And we start to see the volume clusters where the actually trades were exchanged, you know? You can see here where it kept pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. These are buy orders coming in. Buy orders, buy orders, buy orders. And now it got silent here. Huh? What's happening here? All right, so again, very, very consistent. And now we have, okay, so look at this. Now we have all this volume that has been exchanged up here, but actually the price is trading down here right now. That means all of these people that has bought up here is now on the water, right? And that's gonna put pressure on the price to move it further down. And now it's coming, it's even moving outside of the order balance from up here. So this is actually real weakness. And if you look at the price action of the market as well, like forget the volume chart, forget the order flow chart, just look at the price action, right? Like you can kind of see it. Look at how it's kind of falling over, right? This is a different kind of sell. This is a different kind of sell, okay? I think there's a good chance this thing is gonna head down from here. Let's have a look. Maybe I'm wrong. So that's why I'm using order flow is really to get an understanding of how people are buying and selling and where they're buying and selling, how that volume is being exchanged, so I can have a better have a more information that I can use in context with what the overall market is doing. All right, let's go back to SPX. I would still get out of this. I would still get out of that gold trade. I never like when consolidate. I'm not saying it's not going to be a winner. I'm just saying personally from my own experience, I just don't like it. I really don't like it. And for me, I personally learned that I'd rather just not sit in a trade like that because it's just not an ideal trade. The ideal trade is a quick move, into your bids or ask, and then it goes to TP. That's what you want. So whenever it starts fucking around too much, just get out. So next question. What do you think about silver? How is silver looking? Well, let's have a look at silver. Why don't we have a look at silver versus the euro in context with silver against the US dollar? Okay. There's a lot of volatility here. There's a lot of volatility here. So based on order flow and what I've seen here, I would say that there's a very high chance this falls out here, and just because of how the volume was exchanged up here. Oh, my bad. So back to silver. Yeah, it could put silver has potential to run. It's more bullish than gold. It has potential to run quite a bit here. All right, so let's look. So let's have a look at silver against US dollar. Also some relative good strength. So I think silver is looking much better than gold. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, whatever button you have, just click it. And I want to remind you that next month we launched a companion token. And if you like Navigator, if you like these tools we built in the past, if you want to be a shareholder in Navigator, you want to own this technology and be part to develop it, and you want to be part of helping to stop people ruining their financial life, I think you should be part of it. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that you have to invest anything or buy anything. Be part of the community, help drive this out, because what the world needs is it needs people. The world needs people to help them with their finances. It's so hard. It's so easy to make the wrong choices, and you know it's really a struggle. So I think we can do better. I think we can help people with that. I believe we can really make a difference, and I think if we execute on this and we actually do it, I think it's gonna have massive impact and change people's lives. And making money will be a byproduct of helping people across the world. It's the best way to go about it. So yeah, guys, thank you for checking into the live stream this time. It's unfortunate we didn't get anything. We basically just been looking at chop for 1 hour. That is trading sometimes. Sometimes you just get chop for like an hour basically. And I'm not sure what the next 30 minutes hold, but like I said, we're interested in a quick move into here. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it like grind slowly up like this. Like this. We really don't want something like this. Then we're not interested. We only want that and that. That's the only thing we want. Wow, totally unreliable. Okay, it's moving again. The order flow keep the data here keeps struggling. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. We have a lot of interesting stuff to come. Oh, someone just sold $5 million here. So you can see how we hit basically this trend line again, where this algorithm seems to be buying or be active in buying. We got a small reaction again, but we need more than that. All right, guys. Or do we get it here? Is it now? Is it time? I could see it doing it here. I could see it happen now, the next few seconds, few minutes. So let's give it a little bit of time, see if we can get this. See if we can get this. All right, see you guys. See you, PK. Thanks for coming to the stream. And that's it, guys. Sometimes you just get chopped for 1 hour. And then you should basically, like, what should you have been doing? Well, you should just have been trading this range, you know. But it was too small for me to be interested in it. Too small. All right. I think we could watch this all night. All right, guys. Thank you for